Boxing Lowdown, and I'm back here with another video. Now, don't forget, as always, to like, share and subscribe. Feel free to drop a comment if you like, and I'll happily get back to you now. I did a video on this a couple of days ago. However, the volume was like, just the mic wasn't turned on properly. So I was pissed because I just thought, you know, I did a good video. Now I'm going to have to do it again. But I'm sure many of you content creators and editors out there will have experienced these problems before. But let's get straight into it, man. I want to talk about my updated pound for pound list. Now, I know this is a very subjective topic. You know, we say it's all for fun and everything, but, you know, people get really serious about these pound for pound lists, man. And it's not something to be taken too seriously. It's all subjective. It's all down to opinion and what you like to base your rankings on and whatever. But I'm going to do mine because the last time I did it was probably a couple of months ago. There has been movement and activity since then. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Let me actually, before I get started, say that my pound for pound list, how I base my rankings and how I rank these guys in the top 10 is down to a couple of things. So one of them is down to resume in terms of what have you done for me lately. Other parts of it is, you know, your skill set, your fundamentals, and, you know, this is quite a random thing, but how unbeatable do you look in the ring? You know, that aura around you. I look at that as well. So I judge it on a few things like that. You know, what they've achieved, what, you know, their potential, their skill set is, and everything else. Kind of throw it all into one. So this is my top 10 pound for pound. Let's start off with number 10, and I'm going to go with the Scotsman Josh Taylor. Now, Josh Taylor, man, he was up a few spaces before this. He cracked the pound for pound rankings after becoming undisputed. Look at his resume. It's fantastic. You know, he's cleared out 140, although we've had some new additions since then. The only reason why he's not higher in this list is because of the one Jack Catterall. Now, that fight there, I thought he lost it. Many did believe he lost it. Didn't really look that good, but he got the win anyway. These two are going to have a rematch now. I believe it will be in January or February next year. And yeah, Josh Taylor will get to make some amends. Even though he got the win, it will feel like he'll need to make some amends in that rematch to win more decisively and close the chapter. But yeah, Josh Taylor at number 10. Number 9, I'm going for Devin Haney, undisputed lightweight champion, fantastic ability, fantastic skill set, and courage as well. This was a guy who's doing something that not many boxers are doing today. Was the B-side in the Kambosos fight for all the belts, went to Australia, agreed to the rematch, left his promoter to get this fight on, agreed to a whole load of stipulations. And not only did he go over to Australia and win, he won decisively. Then they had the rematch. He won that decisively. Kambosos was on good form going into that fight. You know, he even beat Teofimo Lopez, who beat Lomachenko. So Devin Haney for me, like I said, the skill set, the ability, his recent win against Kambosos twice, you know, had a good win over Jojo Diaz, also over Linares as well. Devin Haney is a fantastic fighter, man, and one for the future for sure. Number 8, I'm going for the man Artur Beterbiev, man. Now, Artur Beterbiev is a monster. This guy is a monster, but he's also very technically proficient as well. He's not just a guy that's going to go in there and just bulldoze you, but he's knocked everybody out. So I put that down to his power. I put that down to how sharp he is, his technique. You know, it is so efficient in his punches, man, and he's taking everybody out. And I've seen him under adversity before, where he got dropped by Callum Johnson, got up, knocked him out a couple of rounds later. Also against Marcus Brown, he had a horrific cut on his forehead, and he still proceeded to batter Marcus Brown, who is a talented light heavyweight. Artur Beterbiev, number 1 ranked at light heavyweight, unified champion, retired the likes of Ostic. Yeah, he's for real. And there's only one fight left in that division for me to see, and hopefully we will get it maybe next year. But I'm not holding my breath. Let's just say that. But Artur Beterbiev, definitely, man, he's my number 8 on this pound for pound list. Now, moving on to number 7, Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo, undisputed light middleweight champion, has great power in both hands, has really developed his game over the last few years, and he is somebody that's impressed me because the light middleweight division is no joke. You know, there may not be a lot of star-studded names in that division, but it's got a lot of talent. And Jermell Charlo is sitting on top of the tree and, you know, undisputed. There's nothing more he can do. He's undisputed champion and he's still looking to fight the top contenders, man. Tim Tszyu is looking like he will be next. You know, he's a quality fighter there, related to obviously the son of Kostyasu. But, you know, you look at the resume, he fought Tony Harrison, lost to him, even though that was controversial. Went on to knock him out in the rematch. You know, he's proved himself at light middleweight and definitely deserves a spot at number 8 on my pound for pound rankings, man. So Jermell Charlo, I said number 8, number 7 on the pound for pound rankings. So Jermell Charlo for me, yeah, he fully deserves his spot. Number 6, Canelo Alvarez. Now, Canelo Alvarez could be higher on a lot of people's lists. I get that. But for me, if we're going off recent form, yes, he did beat Triple G quite decisively, but he didn't look at his best for me, just in my opinion. The fight before that against Dimitri Bivol, lost that decisively. So while he's achieved a lot, you know, he'll go down as a modern great, Canelo Alvarez. There's no doubting about that. But right now, I've got him at number 6, man. I just feel like some of the other guys above him in this list have just done a bit more recently, or maybe even not even recently, but I just feel like that they're above him at this stage. But Canelo can make a few spots up if he gets the right wins. He won't be in the ring until May, I believe, of next year. So it'll be interesting to see who he goes up against and how he looks. But yeah, he's fallen down to number 6 for me. But, you know, I'll understand it if some people have him higher for sure. Number 5, I've got Dimitri Bivol, new entry, fully deserves this ranking. Dimitri Bivol, lock for fighter of the year, no doubt about it. Defeating Canelo the way he did, went into that fight as an underdog, had it all against him, went in there and upset the apple cart, totally dominated Canelo, almost stopped him really. Well, actually, no, he didn't really almost stop him, but he was dominant in that fight. Then he went on to fight Zurdo. That happened a couple of weeks ago. Zurdo undefeated, 40-0, dominated him. Do you know what I mean? So he's a lock for fighter of the year, Dimitri Bivol. And it's not just the fact that he's dominating these guys. He's going to be very hard to beat. Maybe only Beterbiev will be that guy. But Bivol has just got great defense, a great jab. Everything he throws is just accurate and, you know, with precision. He's just a fantastic fighter to watch, and one that I would recommend if you was getting your son or daughter into boxing. You know, you couldn't go wrong by looking at Dimitri Bivol in terms of how he does, how he puts his punches together, his technique, his defense and everything. He's just a joy to watch, you know, for the pure boxing fan anyway. Yeah, so Bivol for me, number 5. I feel like, you know, there could be a few spots moved up next year, particularly if he fights and beats Artur Beterbiev. So yeah, I've got Bivol at number 5. Number 4, I've got Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. for me is probably the best body puncher in the game right now. I don't know many guys that go to the body better than he does. He has a fantastic body attack. He's defeated a load of great names at welterweight. He holds 3 of the belts right now. Ugas was a very good win. Garcia beating him. Sean Porter beating him. Could be fighting Keith Thurman next because we're not getting a Crawford fight now. But Errol Spence is doing what he needs to do. And you've got to look at it, man. After the car crash, you know, that looked like a career ender. He's still coming back and still dominating these guys. But at the end of the day, man, the fight that we all want to see is him and Terence Crawford. We need to see that fight. You know, a decisive victory for one of them in that fight could put them at number 1. It would make them undisputed at welterweight as well. Leave no doubt as to who the man is. But currently, Errol Spence does hold 3 of the 4 belts. He's held them for a long time now. Still looks dominant in that division. And remember how he got the belt as well. You know, the first belt, the IBF belt. He came over to England and beat Kell Brook. Stopped him. Do you know what I mean? So Errol Spence is for real. I've got him high in these pound for pound rankings. Yeah, I've got him at number 4. No, sorry, is it not? Yeah, I've got him at number 4. I'm trying to remember now. But yeah, it could be until he fights Crawford, man. You know, we need to see that fight. Which moves me on to the next person in this list, number 3, and that is Terence Crawford. Now, Crawford just doesn't fight enough, man. If we were going on ability, Crawford could very well be number 1. His switch hitting, his punching power, his technique, his speed, his reflexes. Crawford is just unbelievable in the ring to watch. Probably one of the best finishers in the game. If he's got you going, then you're getting out of there. At welterweight, when he moved up, I remember people thought that he might be too small, might not have enough power. He's knocked everybody out since he's been at welterweight. You know, defeated Jeff Horn for the WBO belt. Since then, he's just been fantastic. And again, The fight that we want to see is him and Errol Spence. And Crawford, for me, could be up higher. He could be up as high as 2 or 1, but he just doesn't fight enough, man. 1 fight this year, 1 fight last year, 1 fight the year before. It's just like, we want to see these guys, man, at this level, particularly Crawford, because he's no spring chicken. He's like, what, 34, 35? We need to see him more for me to put him up higher in this pound for pound list, man. So that's why he's at number 3 for me. The Spence fight, we need it. But at this stage, I don't know if it's going to happen. Number 2, I've got Naoya Inoue. Now, Naoya Inoue is just an unbelievable talent. If he was a few weight divisions above, higher, he'd be a superstar. But this guy, man, you want to talk about punching power, the way how he throws his punches. Again, nothing reckless about it. Very measured, very controlled, solid fundamentals, and great power at the end of it. Do you know what I mean? Fantastic power, should I say. He's called the Monster for a reason, and he's going to be undisputed champion by the end of the year, because he'll be fighting Paul Butler. And, you know, without no disrespect to Paul Butler, that fight is looking like a formality. Now at Inoue, just, I love the way how he pulls his punches together. The only time when I saw him looking pretty human was against Nonito Donaire in the first fight in the World Boxing Super Series, which he won, by the way, now at Inoue. But that fight with Donaire, yeah, it literally put him to the edge a bit, almost to the brink. You know, it was very close, nip and tuck, and at times he did look human in there. But, you know, talk about making a statement in the rematch. He absolutely blew Nonito Donaire away. He seems to be getting better, which is quite frightening. Do you know what I mean? So now at Inoue, number 2, one of my favourite fighters out there, man. Brilliant to watch. And he could very well take that number 1 spot soon. Number 1, though, has to go to Alexander Usyk, man. Former undisputed cruiserweight champion, still undefeated, cleared out the cruiserweight division, by the way, moved up to heavyweight, now has defeated the unified heavyweight champion of the world twice in Anthony Joshua, and he holds the belts now, Alexander Usyk. The one fight that we need to see him in with is Tyson Fury. I don't know if that's going to be happening at any time soon, now that the IBF have ordered Usyk to fight Hrgovic, but you know, in terms of, like, he's got it all, man, Alexander Usyk. He's got great chin. He's got great skills, switch hitting ability as well. Southpaw, does everything right. Do you know what I mean? Has great head movement, toughness. He's got it all. He's got deceptive punching power too, Alexander Usyk. It may not seem it, but, you know, because he's so sharp and accurate, and because he can hit you so often, yeah, that really frustrates a lot of opponents and really puts them into a mental trance. You know, it's hard to go up against somebody like Usyk and focus for 12 rounds because it's so difficult to fight him. So yeah, for me, he's definitely number 1. I think he's number 1. It's quite unanimous now. I don't really know if I've seen many pound for pound lists that doesn't have Usyk as number 1. But yeah, he's my number 1, man. Just brilliant to watch. Fantastic fighter. And he could solidify his legacy at heavyweight by beating the likes of a Hrgovic or a Tyson Fury. There's plenty of opponents out there for him to fight, like a Wilder and so on. So let's see what happens, man. But that is my top 10 pound for pound list. I understand not everybody's going to agree with it. Everyone's going to have their own opinions. Happy to look at yours if you drop them in the comments, but let me know what you think of mine anyway. Don't be too harsh on me, but let me know what you think, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.